Brakati Yahweh, Brakati Yahushai, Brakati Yahweh, Brakati Yahushai, Brakati Yahweh, Brakati Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bahashim Chadash. Oops. Alright. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone True Well. Salutations to the hopeful elect that day, Akim to Sadakim that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. I'm the priest Shimon. This week's topic is going to be entitled End Time Chapters. 2nd Esdras 15 and 1. What inspired me to do this lesson was the elder in South Carolina, Elder Manatazak, sent me a video. He shared a comment with me where somebody was discrediting parts of the Apocrypha, namely 2nd Esdras. He was saying that book is not the book. First of all, if you do a little research, you'll find out that Ezra and Nehemiah was once called 3rd and 4th Esdras. You know, if you read them from 1st Esdras to 4th, you'll see that it's in chronological pattern. And the events in that book, in the book of Esdras and Ezra, right, because they're the same individual. I don't know if you know it or not. I'm not trying to be facetious, but Ezra and Esdras is the same person, and the events that take place in that book take place after books that are in chronological. If you want to do chronological order, the events in Esdras take place after books like Jeremiah and Isaiah. So yeah, you know, just a little segue. So yeah, this is definitely a part of the Bible, 2nd Esdras, and the amazing reason is, you know, you get into the chapters like 15 and 16 and the 6th chapter that speaks about the end of Esau. There's just so many books, so many that the 1st and 2nd Esdras is just, you know, just loaded with, you know, prophecies, end time prophecies, and you know, it's a part of the Bible. 2nd Esdras 15 and 1. Let's start it. It says, "Behold, speak down the ears of my people the words of prophecy." Who are the Lord's people? The Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. How do we know that? Prophecies, all right? The prophecies. I mean, when you read Deuteronomy 28th chapter, it only fits our people, going into the blessings and the curses, namely the curses. You know, and let's say, for example, somebody say, no, the so-called Jews over there in Israel, the state of Israel now, are the actual Jews. Then wait a minute. How did they get there? Did they get there according to how Isaiah the 14th chapter said they were going to get there, or they did the Arthur Balfour Declaration? So stuff like that, man. That's just one prophecies, but there are many prophecies, all right, that tells you that, you know, who the true people of the Lord are. So it says, "Behold, speak down the ears of my people the words of prophecy," which means simply to say things before they happen, and that's what we're doing. It says, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. So, like we always say, we're not speaking. It's the Most High speaking through us, man. You know what I mean? And giving us the strength and the power to break down these scriptures and to teach and guide our people, Lord willing, in the right way. Verse 2, "And cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true." Yeah, modern day version of putting them on paper is putting up a video. You know, one time it was stone tablets, one time it was papyrus scrolls, then it went to paper on books, and now we're writing these epistles with the videos. Modern day version of doing that, you know. As it says in the book of Habakkuk, make it plain upon tables, meaning make it simple. You know, we don't have to go super deep dive. You know, we make it super, you know, very simple. And what might be simple to us, again, might have many layers to an individual that's just learning. So, you know, as the apostles teach us, kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. 3, it says, verse 3 now, "Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee." Right, that word incredulity means their unbelief. You know, the scripture, 2nd Esdras 15 and 3, really goes well with Romans 3 and 3, which says, you know, for what if some did not believe? Because you know what? You know why they don't believe it? Because it sounds far-fetched, right? A giant black man is going to come down in a UFO and hit everybody with, hit, you know, a lot of these nations with laser beams in the midst of World War III when destruction is. It sounds crazy till it happens. It sounds crazy till you're right. You know, when Noah was out there speaking, saying, "Look, water's going to come from the sky." Like, what are you talking about, bro? It doesn't rain. Well, water doesn't come from the sky. This guy's out of his fucking rockets, right? So it sounded far-fetched until they were gargling. So that's you know, Hosea 5:15. In the affliction, they're going to seek the Lord early. They're going to come back running, trying to get breakdowns, but at that time, it's going to be too late. Verse 4. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Right. So, what's being unfaithful? You need things seen, right? You need things seen. Well, not every man that needs things seen is wicked, so let me check myself on that, because certain brothers, they're gonna have to see the spiritual power. Thomas actually had to feel the Lord, you know, the holes in his hand, you know what I'm saying? So certain brothers certain brothers really get, you know, wrapped up in the chariots, like the videos. Some brothers don't need to see videos of the chariots, you know? Not saying if you see videos of the chariots you don't believe. I'm just saying, you know, certain brothers need more than others to be persuaded, you know? A chariot might bring a brother in the truth, where seeing a chariot doesn't necessarily need to bring a man in the truth, you know? So, but the unfaithful, people that don't believe, they're gonna die in their unbelief, you know? We want to live in our belief. We want to make it out of here, you know? Verse 5 says, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword and famine and death and destruction. So shit, I see why you don't want Esdras up in there, huh? Trying to duck and dodge that. But that scripture right there, it goes hand in hand with Amos 5:18 on to 19, because it says the sword, famine, death, and destruction, pretty much one calamity of the next. Okay, very similar to fleeing a bear, then bit by a lion, and fleeing the lion, and hit by a serpent, you know. So it's calamity after calamity after calamity. The Lord's going to bring these upon the world like a woman in labor, you know, sporadically. You know, I was really thinking on my way to the gym, like, yo, famine is going to fuck a lot of people up, because most of us, we just know how to get food from the grocery store. None of us really know how to hunt deer and kill the shit, and shit, I don't know how to do it. I mean, but, you know, when your back's against the wall, you have to figure shit out, right? So, hey, man, people are going to lose it, man. No food, no water. It's going to be very crazy. Very crazy times, man. We just pray the Most High, Yahweh, Shem Yahushai, keep a hedge around us, you know, and our loved ones. Verse 6, for wickedness shall exceedingly polluted, for wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. And as the days go on, it's just getting more and more wicked and more filthy, all right? Some of the shit that we're seeing, because what they're doing, the so-called white man is doing, is seeing how much more shit he could do to piss the Most High off, all right, and piss off the prophets, and fuck up the world. Just be a complete demon. And just when you think he's reached the maximum, he pulls out another wicked shit. That's how come we constantly doing shows on the wicked shit that's going on in America, because they keep passing unrighteous decrees, all right, and things going against the scripture, so they got to pay for that, all right? There's no wicked nation that does wicked forever and the Most High doesn't do anything. Ecclesiastes 8:11, the Most High eventually judges, man, and he judges harsh and swiftly. Verse 7, therefore, saith the Lord, scroll down now, all right, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely, profane means outside of the temple, commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. Yeah, so, you know, just like when Abel perished, he complained unto the Lord about, you know, what happened with Cain. All right, guess what? When a righteous man perished, they're up there complaining in the spiritual world, like, Lord, like, yo, judge this place, you know? So there's so many innocent blood that's been shed, all right, you know, for the lack of a better term, all right, that are complaining unto the Lord, all right? Says 9, and therefore, saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. So that right there lets us know we don't have to take shit in our own hands. The Most High is the ultimate avenger. We don't gotta assemble the avengers and grab arms and shit like that. The Most High will avenge his people, all right, for all the rape, robbery, and murders that's going on. 10, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter, I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. Modern day Egypt is America. That's in the book of Revelations 11 and 8. Egypt just means bondage. And if you look at history, there's only two places where the northern and southern kingdom has been enslaved together. That's in ancient world Egypt and the modern day Egypt, which is America. Okay. 11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. And it says as before. There's no account of this happening again in history, all right, of plagues hitting Egypt again, all right. The plagues, I'm talking about the actual land. The plagues that's going to hit the land of Egypt again is this modern day Egypt, this modern day Babylon, America, man. The Most High is going to hit this place, all right, with some plagues. Zechariah 14 and 12 tells us the major plague, all right, the missiles. And just like how the Lord delivered us out of Egypt, guess what? He's going to do it again. But this one's going to be even greater this time. All right? Because we're going to get beamed up in chariots. All right? The new ark. All right? And delivered out the land of America. The Northland. 12. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plagues and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. It says, they that till the ground shall mourn, for their seeds shall fall through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful constellation. So that's going into famine right there. Listen, famine per se doesn't mean that there's no food. Famine could be a lack of the access to food. Okay, so that's what's going to take place too. A lack of access to food when they shut down bridges. You can't get in and out the GWB. You know, truckers can't do their trucking. So there could be food around, but shit, if you don't have access to it, your ass in a famine, man. The stores only have, what, 3 days supply to feed everybody. You know, an EMP attack, a lot could happen, man. A lot could happen. That's why 14 says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Right, destruction, sorrows. All right, to the world and them that dwell therein. 15. Here's a classic. Here's a classic one. 2 Esdras 15 and 15 says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. That's talking about race riots. When the hell did that happen in ancient world Egypt? After we left, none of these things that we're talking about happened there. But guess what? It's happening. It's going to happen here. Class riots, race riots, civil war. Just like they had that movie out right now called Civil War. I haven't seen it, but you know, you got guys like Trump coming in there. That's going to divide the country up. And there's just a lot of tension brewing, man. It's like the pot. You know, things are cooking. If you have the eyes to see and the ears to ear, you see shit is being cooked up. The Most High is drumming it up. Got it on the pot, just, you know. 16. For there shall be sedition, which is an uproar against the government, all right, among men, and invading one another. People breaking into people's houses and shit, trying to, you know. It's going to be completely lawless. There's going to be a law around it. There's going to still be the law around, but who's going to really be abiding by it? When even the police officers is going to be trying to protect their families. All right? It says, they shall not regard their kings. Right? They're not going to be that's what I'm talking about, not listening to the law. They're not going to be listening to the mayor or what have you. They're going to be doing their own shit. Very similar to The Walking Dead. When them zombies was around and people just sort of set up their own militias, and the head of that militia was just his own sheriff and shit like that. They were making shit up. Making up their own coalitions. It says, regard their kings, no princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their hand. Right. It says, a man shall desire to go into one city and shall not be able to. That's what I'm talking about. The bridges being cut off, man. This is gonna be some serious times, man. And it's gonna happen. That's the crazy thing. No matter how you feel and I don't believe, and look, man, the Most High always delivers on his word. This thing is gonna happen. All right? It's gonna happen. All hell breaking loose. And in that day, ain't gonna be no feminist and I'm a strong, independent woman. When shit kick like that, it's gonna be crazy. Trust and believe, man. And that's scripture. All right, with that, I'm gonna give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, Ba'ashim Rakakodash, that belongs to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, which you well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there, you Akim to Zadakim, that do this thing in most truth and sincerity. Shalom.